Okay, there it goes. And we're live. Welcome to the Rican show. And today I have Kari. She goes by No Me Callas. So why don't you give a little intro about yourself so like that people know who I'm talking to.
Yeah, so I haven't done one of these in a while, so be kind. But I'm Kari. I go by No Me Callas. I'm a first generation American. My family immigrated here. And yeah, I was just taught to raise this country. And with everything going on, I'm just trying to speak out and preserve why my family came here. So, yeah.
I know. So you're on. I know you do TikTok, right? You do TikToks and Instagrams.
Yeah. So I've taken like a long little hiatus, but I was pretty active about a year and a half ago. And I was doing TikToks. I was doing Instagram. I was interviewing politicians who were running for positions like governor of California, or like school board members. And yeah, I was just out in California trying to fight, all the craziness out there. But luckily, I'm no longer there. So I'm hopefully going to start getting involved in the state that I'm at now. And we'll see where that goes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's well, we already had that conversation offline. I said about you know uh the governor.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
won't say the name so they won't know what state you're in, but
I mean,
uh
it's fine. It's not a big deal. I mean, at this point, I feel like if you're on the internet, people are going to find out where you're from. I'm sorry, I got
oh
something
yeah.
in my eye. So if you see me rubbing my eye, I just felt something in there. No,
Oh,
but yeah, I'm in North Carolina now. And I'm supporting Robinson because, I mean, he's like a he's like a mini Trump,
yeah, he really is.
Yeah, he
He
says
cracks
it how
me
he
up.
sees it, and his policies, like they're traditional. And at the end of the day, I think that we're missing a lot of that in this country.
Traditional common sense,
Yeah,
uh, and what our country's lacking right now.
yeah. A lot of common sense. A lot of context too. We're missing a lot of like people are just going off of headlines instead of seeing the full picture. So
Well, yeah, it's like speaking of headlines, she
yeah,
said headlines. I sent this to normally for show prep, I'll look at articles and see what people like and what topic touches them. And this was one where your specific reaction was this can't be real,
so
which I thought
this
was great.
this is typical liberal media, like fronting and gaslighting everybody. Yeah, Venezuela failed, and there's all this riot and all this chaos going on because too much capitalism. It's a communist country. This always happens in socialist and communist countries. We have seen it time and time and time again. But of
Hmm.
course, the commie loving liberal media is trying to blame capitalism. And I'm just like, you guys cannot be serious. Like, it's so crazy.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if when I went through the article, right, and what was it? I want to show the tweet where he said it goes. Um,
Oh, well, he blamed the FBI or something?
no, here goes. It goes. For it, what was? Oh, come on! It's not gonna. No, don't click. I didn't want to click that. I just wanted to see what. I don't want it to because sometimes when they do these yeah, it goes. The third decade in Venezuela, founded by former President Hugo Chavez, Mr. Maduro's mentor. The movement initially promised to lift millions out of poverty, but for a time it did. But in recent years, the socialist model has given way to brutal capitalism, economics say, with a small state connected minority controlling much of the nation's wealth. Like, no,
So,
that's usually the way communism works. You have the party elite controlling all the nation's wealth.
yeah, so I was actually reading this and they were praising the beginning of socialism, how it was working so well. And once Maduro went in, he just implemented all these laws and started going after his rivals, which wasn't what it was. No, socialism always leads to communism, which leads to this. we have seen it over and over again. We've seen it with Mao. We've seen it in Cuba. Like communism never works, right? The
Hmm.
one thing that does work is capitalism. The issue is like a lot of people right now in America where we're at, they bash capitalism. But the thing is, this isn't capitalism that we have. It has a lot of government intervention. So they're not even letting capitalism be what it is. And that's how you get these crazy people who are trying to blame communism, who are trying to blame capitalism for communism. So
Yeah.
it is so crazy. Like we
What
saw
it is,
with Hitler.
capitalism builds up the wealth, and then the socialists and the communists, extract the wealth.
Yeah, like whenever you ask a socialist or communist, whenever you ask them, like, oh, name one country or one instance ever that this has worked, they always go for these European countries, which, first of all, their military is all provided by America, by
Oh.
us.
Mhm.
So it's not even real socialism. And the ones that are socialism, like they're kind of backing away from it. You even have when Bernie Sanders, oh man, what country was it? Where Bernie they have
Norway.
capital. Norway, was it Norway?
No,
Where they have
Norway.
capitalism.
Yeah, it was
They have
Norway.
they have some capitalism implemented in them.
Yeah, what
And
it is they have social safety net that's like really, elaborate, and because of that, they tax heavily because they have the value added tax. So like, like a car that costs $25,000 over here in Norway is going to cost you like $60,000.
that's why everybody rides bikes, you know.
Yeah, that's why everybody rides bikes. But
But you
no,
even had, I don't know if you remember a few years ago, you had Bernie being like, "Oh, this socialism works
oh,
here," and even the
yeah,
leaders were like, "Don't say that
yeah,
because
the
we're
prime
not fully
minister.
socialist."
Yeah, no, no, I was just gonna say that the prime minister had came out and said, "Yeah, we're not a socialist country. We just we're a market economy with a social
Mhm.
safety net." That's exactly
Yeah.
what he said. It's like, we just want to make sure our people are taken care of. That's what he said. But
So even
still,
the examples that they use are not socialism. So.
no. And it's like here, like you see what it says here. As a reminder, Venezuela used to be twice as wealthy as Chile. Then Chile
Hmm.
moved. Uh, Chile followed Milton Friedman's ideas, while Venezuela was ruled by socialists. Now Chile is the wealthiest large country in South America, and Venezuela the poorest.
Yeah.
Difference between capitalism and socialism.
Yeah,
Same thing,
and
like
it's so sad because the other day here in America we saw like a few hundred people marching for the Communist Party, and these people are so privileged and so spoiled that they have never really experienced. They don't even really know what they're supporting. Um, sorry, just there's a message. Yeah,
oh
they
no,
do
no,
it.
I was sharing what the person said because she put, I love this way. At the end, she put, my question to them would be, if you love communism so much, then why don't you denounce your citizenship? And I would add a step further, move to
Step over that.
Venezuela and support the socialists and the communists there.
Yeah, it's so what's that saying? You can be a communist in a capitalistic economy, but you can never be a capitalist in a communist economy.
No, exactly. No, you can't. Because in a
Yes.
capitalist society, if you want to go form a commune and all, chip in together, people could do that. That's what you had, like, um you had what, like, what was it, the Branch Davidians in Texas, right? There was the
Hmm.
in Waco.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
the Amish, you know what I mean? If you want the lifestyle so
well,
bad.
no, 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 no. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. I live near the Amish. They are not communists.
No, no, but I'm saying like that type of environment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Be secluded,
Yeah.
go do your own thing. No, I do know that they do have capitalistic ideologies
Oh
because they
no,
sell their
they're
bread.
they're, they're
They,
super capitalists.
yeah, yeah, they sell, they trade. You know what I mean? They come out of their
I
little.
I live
But
2 hours away from the Amish country.
yeah, like you always see like their bread, their honey, all that.
Oh no,
But
I
I'm
go.
saying like,
No, I mean, when I say I live 2 hours, I live 2 hours from like Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and that's like the home of the Amish.
No, yeah, yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is like that lifestyle where they're so
Oh,
secluded and they're within their own people. Like if these
mhm.
people really want to try the communist lifestyle, go do that.
Uh-huh.
Go do your little commune, go do your little thing where you're away from everybody and do your trading and do everything. But like don't
That's what Bernie did, and they kicked him out because he was too lazy.
I was like, but don't come into like the society that everything's been working and try to implement this ideology that has never worked, you know? So
No, it's a failed ideology all around. It's just it refuses to die because at the end of the day, the people who want like communism, for the most part, they aren't religious.
but even the people that want communism, they're capitalists. Look at Bernie, look at AOC, they're socialists. They go, they charge to be seen, they have books, they have deals. That's capitalism. I'm sorry,
Of,
that's capitalism. They're capitalists. They're not
of
communists. Yeah.
course,
But
the
they it's like
hypocrites.
I'm sorry?
Okay. I said the hypocrites. She loves, um, she loves having influence. She loves having wealth. So
Yeah,
you're a
like
capitalist.
the minute she became a politician, she got a really nice apartment, she got a nice
Uh huh.
car, like, she started like
She got a
making
white
money.
boyfriend.
Yeah, she sells merch and you're like, yo,
Uh huh.
you're literally living in the luxuries of capitalism.
Like eat the rich.
Yeah. Well, she is the rich now, you know, like
That's
how is it that you've been in Congress
she is the rich
a
now.
handful of years and you're already worth all that you're worth? Capitalism, you know?
Hmm. Well, so we don't. I'm not going to beat the dead horse over capitalism versus communism. I just wanted to, from one Latino to another, just to be like, yo, let's just touch about that topic. And at the end of the day, we should be praying for Venezuela because they're going through some turmoil right now, and
Yeah.
um, hopefully, um, the communists fall uh, and Cuba. I mean, Cuba, you hear me? And Venezuela could be free.
Yeah. But before we like move on, I think that we
Uh,
should also mention that this is like a lesson for Americans because we are on that slippery slope. We are going that
oh
way.
yeah.
So I think that we should take a good look at what is happening like right now. These people have been um, implementing this type of government for like almost 20 years, and the people have had enough. And look at where it has led them. So as Americans, like we have so many people now who are promoting this. So we're at the precipice of this. So I think it's time for us to actually open our eyes and see what we should avoid.
No, I'm gonna see if I could find. There was let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing for 1 second because I don't want to. I just want to find because now that you said that, I wanted. There was on Instagram. I shared it. This guy was talking about the Venezuelan election, and he showed the graph of like votes.
Mm-hmm. And
And
it looked like Biden.
exactly. That's all I want to show those. It's not that long, maybe like 30, 40 seconds. But you know how hard it is to bring up Instagram on your computer. It's much easier on the phone.
Yeah, and I think
But
it's I think we're really, like I said, we're right there. We're at that slippery slope right now with everything going on with the elections. Now you have all these people coming from South America coming through the border that are reaping these socialistic benefits. You know, they're getting everything paid for.
oh
And
yeah, my hometown of New York, they're giving out money to the illegals. It's like the New York, I mean, yeah, New York's policies and the Democrats' policies have pissed off a lot of New Yorkers. And
yeah.
people laugh that they say that New York might be in play for Trump. You know,
So here's the thing with that. If you're conservative or you're even pissed off at any of this happening with the illegals being given everything being paid for by us, I don't care if you're in a blue state and you feel that your vote doesn't matter. In this election, so many people are pissed off that it really can matter.
Okay.
So don't get
No.
too comfortable and just be like, my vote's not gonna. No, everybody needs to go vote because AOC's district, such a small percentage
Yeah.
voted that got, those are the ones that got her in. It was like a minuscule percentage of the people that actually
You know, there
lived
was
there.
something where if every Republican voted in the election, then a Republican would have won because
Yeah,
there's enough Republicans that compared to the amount of Democrats who voted that she would have lost. And even
yeah,
now,
but
so like with the election coming up, if all the Republicans go and vote and forget the nonsense like, oh, we're not going to win it, we're not going to win it. No, you know what? It if you're going to have a defeatist mentality, then you're going to lose.
yeah, like New York really is in play. A lot of these blue states really are in play because you see a shift in demographic. You see a lot of the Black Americans, a lot of Latino Americans. You see a huge shift now waking up, right? And that's why they have
Well,
the
it's
open
just
borders because
the
these are
the
all,
Bidenomics is the one that's is affected them the most is
yeah,
blacks and Latinos. And for the most part, any poor community is going to be affected by this um invasion. No
well,
better way to put it.
you already have failing school districts, and they're closing down these schools where the kids really need to be there and learn to put illegals in.
Yeah.
So you have everybody upset. And the thing is,
No,
Democrats know that these places are in play. They know that, like Chicago, they know that New York, they know that so many people are pissed off that there's a possibility that it could change. So
yeah.
they're they're Democrats, Kamala, Biden, they all know this. They do not want conservatives to feel comfortable enough to go vote. That's why they mock us and they're like, "Oh, it's not in play. It's blue." You know.
Mm,
So it's, if you're conservative, if you're not even if you're conservative, if you are upset with everything happening and you are wanting to vote a different way, don't get comfortable just because of the area that you're in. Everybody needs to go vote.
yeah. It's like Dan Bongino says. He goes, vote like we're 2 points down, not 10 points up.
Yeah, because
Because
I
I
mean, you
think
saw
that's
what happened last time talking about the election chart, like we can't get
Mhm,
comfortable. We can't get complacent.
mhm. Yeah, no, I think, I see it, I see it with with my parents, more my mother, because my mother can't stand Trump, but she doesn't like what's going on either.
Hmm.
So, she was like, I'm just not gonna vote. And I'm like, well, you know what? Honestly, not voting for Harris is one more vote for Trump.
See, I have always said this, like, okay, first of all, I love Trump. Okay,
Mhm.
I love the patriotism that he has. Like I was telling you before we went live, like I just went to see him. Um, I took my kid to go see him. Like this man, you just feel the love that he has for this country. He has been bashed. They have torn his name down. They have gone after him with fake all the fake
The Russia
cases.
collusion,
He got
the
he
Russia
got
collusion,
shot.
the racist.
You forget that this man used to be loved by everybody. He was in rap songs. He was on TV. Everybody loved him.
Mhm.
He was him. The Clintons used to love him, right?
Yeah.
And then he became he ran for the Republican Party, and they attacked him. This man is a billionaire that used to be loved by everybody. Everybody
Well,
wanted to be him.
here's the irony. They paint Trump as this big right wing boogeyman,
He's
but
moderate.
he's a moderate. He doesn't want an abortion ban.
No, he wants to
He's
leave it
okay.
to the states, which I think
He wants
is very constitutional. You know what I mean? Like
no, yeah, but I think if push came to shove, he would do like a 12,
yeah.
15 week type of thing. If push came to shove.
Yeah, but I don't know if you remember, even Obama was like, the American dream is to beat Donald Trump. you know?
Yes.
So
Oh
this
yeah.
man doesn't need to be doing everything that he's doing, right?
No,
This
not at all.
man, like he literally almost got assassinated. He does not need to be put in the position that he is putting himself into, but he is doing it because he loves his country.
Hmm.
And okay, now that I've said all that, I'm gonna say this. He's an asshole. Okay, he has that
Oh,
asshole personality.
but he's
But
my
we need
asshole.
that. Yeah, he's
He's
an
my
asshole.
asshole. I
We
don't
need
give it.
that.
Look, listen, I'm a New Yorker. I get it. That's why when other New Yorkers when they're like, oh well, Trump said this and Trump said that, I'm like, why are you being a little bitch? You're from New York. You've
Well,
heard
yeah,
worse.
and
You've
I'm like,
heard
listen,
worse.
we needed that asshole personality. We needed that toughness, that grit. We needed that I'm not gonna back down. Because if it would have been any other person in his shoes, they would have stepped away and been like, I'm done.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't have to do this.
no. Especially he's lost. He's the first president to lose money after leaving office.
Forget lose money. He's almost lost the whole credibility of his name. That like what the Democrats are doing to him. You know, it
Oh,
goes
I
beyond
know.
that. His legacy.
But I mean, his net worth has gone down. Like
Yeah,
people are like, well, he became president because he wanted to make money. No, he lost
he's
money,
the
and he
only
didn't even
president
take
in
his
recent
salary.
history who has lost money.
Hmm.
Look at the Obamas. How many hundreds of millions are they worth?
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
and the Clintons were broke when they supposedly they
When
were broke when they left the White House, and look at them now.
I mean, look at Biden. All right, the big
Oh,
guy. Yeah, we
uh
see.
huh.
Not only did he get rich, his family got rich off of this country. So,
Of course,
like,
he got
to people.
he got his family got rich off of his political career.
Yeah, so like to people like your mother who don't want to vote for him, it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. He's abrasive, he's harsh, he's loud, but look at what he did. Look at his policy. Look at what he did for this country. Look what he's doing. He's the only one right now that's standing up for women, for our rights.
For the
Yeah,
real
you
right.
might not, yeah, you might not like this guy, but who cares if you don't like him? Is he doing the job?
Yeah. It's like, do you want a doctor that sucks but is nice? Or do you want a doctor that's an arrogant prick but could do the surgery that you need done?
So in 2016, I had somebody tell me, like, I would never vote for him because he doesn't have any experience. And I go, look at the politicians that do have experience. What have they done?
Yeah.
And then my husband made a point. He's all like, the thing is, Trump is a businessman. He's going to come into his presidency thinking of it like a business. He's going to cut
Yes.
costs. He's going to want to be productive. And he implemented all of that. And the economy had never been better, according to MSNBC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he came in here with the businessman mentality, and that is exactly what this country needed because politicians have taken advantage of Americans for so long. They don't care about us. They don't think they work
No.
for us. They just
No.
all they care about is filling their own pockets and being corrupt. And really, like, you're gonna vote for a politician who's been in this position for 5 decades? I mean, look at Biden. He doesn't really know what to do besides sit behind a desk and argue and vote against the other party. So I think us as Americans, we have to stop. We have to open our minds and think of this in a different way. We can't just be like, oh, he doesn't have experience. He's not a politician. Well, you know what? That's what we need because the reason we're in this mess is because of these politicians.
No. I agree 100%. That's it's the problem. What's going on is you have you have these politicians that like we were talking about AOC earlier. What happened? She talked about this pie in the sky. She was going to do this. She was going to do that, and all she's done is just fall in line with the Democrats. That's what she's done.
I'll give her credit because even a broken clock is right twice a day,
Uh,
But she has done a couple of things where I'm like, all right, I could stand with you on that. Like when they just interviewed Shido at
yeah,
the because of the assassination, she
yeah.
had some good questions. But I don't think she was doing it because she wanted to
Well,
do the
yeah,
right
no,
thing.
no, not at all.
If
None
you
of
look,
those Democrats.
no, she is anti, like, now she's a little bit more establishment, but her exterior, what she pushes out, is she is anti establishment. And
Yeah,
the
but no, she.
establishment went after Trump, so she's probably like, hey, they might be coming after me too, so she didn't
Oh no,
do
yeah,
it.
she's fallen in line. She fell in line with she's fallen in line quicker than the rest of those squad members. Like that's why like some of them are losing their re-election bids. Like I think a couple of them lost primaries. This guy Bowman, the one who
Mhm.
pulled the fire alarm, he lost his primary, so
Yeah,
he's
that
not
guy,
coming
yeah.
back.
These Democrats are just so shady.
It's but
They're
you know
like
what? Let's
immature. Dude, seriously pulled the fire alarm. I forgot about that.
so we're gonna talk about the presumptive nominee for the Democrats. I'm
Oh yeah,
gonna play this
he chose
short.
not to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play a little clip. We'll talk about there, and then we'll wrap it up because I know you had a long day and I had a long day.
No, yeah, yeah.
And now that we're both East Coast, it'll make it easier to collaborate.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Hopefully we get together. I have a couple of things that I'm hopefully working on. So, yeah, maybe we'll be able to get together soon.
Mm-hmm. And maybe it's already late in the summer, but maybe next summer I'll go out to like the Outer Banks or something.
Yeah, man, it's nice out here. The Outer Banks are
I've
really
always
pretty.
wanted to go visit. The other thing is Myrtle Beach, which is a little further away, is a
Yeah, I
lot
believe that's
cheaper.
yeah. I
Is a lot
mean,
cheaper than the Outer Banks.
yeah, so a lot of people are actually coming up this way. I have a friend from California. She used to work with Blexit and she's coming to South Carolina too.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, let's meet in the middle. I'm down. Like I'm so down because the only people I really met that do this are people in California because that's where I was. So now that
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the East Coast, I'm hoping to you know, get together
I've
with some other
met.
people.
Let me see. I met Don Bonchinche and Jen, um, Laura. So I met three of my guests. I've met three of
Oh,
my guests. Mm-hmm. And there's one.
hopefully soon.
There's one of my guests. He does like well, he didn't do it this year, but he normally does like a barbecue in the summer and invites people to pass by. And
Mm,
so I went to the barbecue and I went and so actually excuse me no then technically I met four of my guests because one of the guys that I met at the barbecue I ended up having on my show because
okay.
he's a big activist in New York where he's a freedom activist and he also does like rap like he's like a
Oh man, I think I know who you're talking about. I think I met him. Like a
Cosby. No,
Latino
no,
guy?
no, 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 no. He's a white guy.
Okay. No, I met a Latino guy. Okay, so I've actually been very, very fortunate. I've met William Witt, I've met Elijah Schaefer, I've met Anomaly. I met some like pretty decent
Oh,
big
you met
names.
Anomaly? Oh, that
Yeah,
must have been fun. He
yeah.
seems kind of. He kind of reminds me of like Russell Brand
No,
because he's like a fire.
no,
He seems like a firecracker.
no, he was very calm. He was very chill. He seemed a little annoyed when I met him, but it was like a long day.
Oh
Um,
yeah, well,
yeah, it
don't
was
we
like
all?
it was like a whole like 3-day event. But I'm not even gonna front. Like my favorite people that I've actually met have been. I love Anthony Cavazza. I don't know. He's a journalist, a Latino journalist. He's like one of my favorite
No, I know who you're
people.
talking about. He's the one with the beard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love him. That's like my brother. Like I love him because I don't think that a lot of people realize that like Jorge Ventura, he's another one. Jorge Ventura is goofy.
Yes.
I adore him. Um, but
You know,
I don't
so
think we're
no. Wait, who's the other one? Oh, what's his name? Is it Blue something? I forget what
I
his.
haven't met Oscar del Blue. We've done many lives.
Oscar
We've
de la
spoken
Blue.
on
There
the
you go.
phone. Yeah, we've
Uh,
spoken on the phone. We've done lives. I haven't met him in person. We were supposed to go get tacos, but I got knocked up. I never made it to Mexico. But what a lot of people don't realize is that these Latinos, what they're doing, like these three men in particular,
uh-huh.
is amazing. Like a lot of people that don't speak Spanish. So I used to be with Lexit.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of them didn't speak Spanish. And so they don't really see the other side of it, you know? Yeah.
Well,
Well,
see,
I was
well,
raised in Mexico, so I'm fluent.
well, okay, I understand it. Like I said, we went offline. I was in Puerto Rico, and like my family made fun of me because I went to the bakery, and they're like, "How did you order?" And I'm like, "I could speak Spanish if I need to. I could hold my own, but it's
No,
not
they
how
were
it's
like
not what I feel comfortable."
some of these people didn't speak any Spanish. And I think what a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these Latino people that do these videos, they don't speak Spanish. So what I love about these guys is that what they're doing is very needed in the Spanish speaking community. A lot of the Spanish people, all they have on news type of information that they get is CNN, MSNBC. It is a lot of just
Oh, yeah.
propaganda.
Yeah,
So getting
Univision for the Spanish speakers that although they've gotten better because they have a show called Línea de Fuego.
yeah, they have a couple conservatives on there. One of the girls,
Yeah.
I love her. She's great. I haven't met her yet. We haven't
Oh,
spoken. We've
I've
messaged her
I've e-
randomly.
I've chatted with her once in a while. I'm
She
trying
yeah,
to.
we yeah, she's really sweet. Like
Mhm.
I haven't really messaged her much. Maybe it was like just randomly, okay, like once or twice. But
Well,
she
usually I'll
she's very
comment on
sweet.
one of her stuff that she posts, like her reels or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, she's super funny. She just did a funny one about Kamala. But
Hmm.
what the people don't realize is that this conversation, this conservative Spanish conversation, is very very important in our community because the Spanish speaking Latinos who don't speak English are not really getting that. They don't get. That's why
Yeah.
a lot of the Latino community vote Democrat. Like especially if you immigrated here, you don't learn the foundations of this country. You don't learn why the First Amendment is so important. You don't learn why we must cherish the Second Amendment and why we must
Hmm.
protect it. You don't learn about all these. You don't learn about why America is America. Basically, you just come here because it's a better way of life, but you don't understand why, and you just fall in line with the Democratic talking points like conservatives are racist. They don't want to give you free stuff. They don't. So they just
Yeah.
look at Jorge
That's
Ramos.
what.
That's all he does,
Yeah, no,
propaganda.
that's what they don't understand. It's like those go like I saw Trump's interviews with what was it um the national black journalists
Mhm,
thing in
mhm.
in Detroit today, and I was watching some of the clips, and they keep going. So what are you going to do for Black Americans? And I'm like, no, 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 no. That's the whole problem. That's the problem with the Democrat Party is that in a nutshell right there. It's like it's
So,
always what are you going to do for the blacks? What are you going to do for the Latinos? No, you know what? It's
no,
what I'm
yes,
going to do for Americans. Period.
I you are 100% right, but you have to get through that mentality first, right?
I know.
So,
No, no, no. I know.
so
No, I totally agree with
for example, right now, there's a huge, like we were talking earlier, there's a huge shift in demographic from Latinos to Blacks wanting to vote conservative or not even wanting to vote, just looking towards the conservative party.
you.
So I think that it is important to ask questions like, what are you willing to do or not what are you willing to do, that's the wrong phrasing. What are you going to do to get that Latino vote? What are you going to do to
Mhm.
get that Black vote? I'm not saying offer them things, but put into words like, look, if all of America goes up, we all go up, things like that, like we're all
Yeah.
going to come together, like,
A,
but
a
they have
rising
to.
a rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah,
That's the
you have to
expression.
you have to be
Mhm.
able to communicate that to them in a way that they're going to understand it. Because all they have heard the whole time that they've been voting is I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that, I'm going to give you this. So it is important to
Mhm.
try to kind of break that barrier and talk to them in a way that they're going to understand so they could be like, "Okay, I see what you're saying," you know?
Is it finally coming up? No, I think that's I just the only reason I get annoyed with that. Oh, hold up. Can you hear that or no?
Barely.
Okay, no. I'm trying to pause it because for some reason it literally was taking forever just to load, and now it doesn't want to stop. Let me just mute this. Wait, my internet connection's acting up. You know what? Then forget about that. That would be a show for another time. I'm not gonna worry about, you know. I think enough stuff that we could talk about Harris without having to go through uh how unpopular she really is.
Yeah, man, there's so
What
much
do
we
you
could
think
talk
about
about.
the gaslighting that they've done in the
Uh,
past like week?
so I'm gonna sound like a broken record. Conservatives do not get comfortable. Do not get comfortable. I wanted to do a video on this. I actually did a video on this, and then all this new gaslighting came up, so I can't post that video. I have to because there's so much more that came out. Um, so here's the
Mhm.
thing. After the 2020 election, I
Mm.
believe it was Time Magazine, they came out with an article. The article was about,
I know.
you know what I'm talking about?
The
The
campaign to save the 2020
yeah.
election.
So there was a shadow movement. Oh,
I
I
think
forgot what they called
matter
it.
of fact, I think I have it bookmarked.
Okay, yeah. So there was a shadow campaign. That's what they
Article
called it. A shadow
bookmark in
campaign
particular.
of everyone
Mhm.
from mainstream media to CNN to all these people who behind the scenes were manipulating information and manipulating stories. Like the 54, I believe it was CIA, 54 CIA agents that signed that the laptop,
Yep,
Hunter Biden's laptop was fake. Later on, we
was
found out it was
Russian.
real, right? There
Mhm,
were all these people working behind the scenes to
mhm.
make sure they were going to manipulate information and manipulate data so they could manipulate voters. And that is exactly what we are seeing again. There is so much gaslighting. I'm not even just talking about her race. I'm talking about how they're claiming she was never the border czar. They're claiming she wasn't the most.
Oh, yeah, that
Um, yeah, they're claiming she wasn't the most leftist politician ever. They're claiming
like,
she had basically they're all lying and covering everything that she's saying isn't true. That she was black, that she was never Indian. Like, um, Google is censoring stories about all the black men that she prosecuted in California. They're censoring. There was a book on Amazon. It was there for years, and it talked about her history as a prosecutor. The minute she announced she was running for office, the next day or something, Amazon completely took it out. So they're using the same tactics that they used in 2020. And conservatives, we cannot get comfortable because a lot of people are going to fall for it, just like they did in 2020.
mhm,
It
it
this
is.
whole gaslighting, this whole manipulating, you guys, we're only seeing the beginning of it. We have 3 more months of it to go.
Yeah, I
There
pulled the
you go, the
article up
shadow
for you that you were
campaign.
talking about. It's crazy when you see what they did, the the whole thing about the universal mail-in ballots, the, changing, election laws in the state levels,
Mm.
uh,
And then those election laws that they changed turned out to be unconstitutional for that state.
and, which is the state I live in, and nothing's happened.
Yeah.
I still don't need an ID to vote, which to me is bullshit.
Well, and look at all these illegals coming in. Remember the last election, Obama was saying that they could vote. So you don't think they're voting? And look at the millions that just came in. No wonder they don't
Well,
want you to get
why
in.
you think they're against, HR2, the SAFE Act? That's why they're against it, because that's how
Mhm.
they get to cheat. Because the whole thing about it is they'll be like, "Well, we're allowing illegals to vote in local elections,
Local
so they need to
elections, no.
register in local elections." No, you're not a citizen. You don't get to vote. And I agree with Trump. There should be a citizenship test for the, census, because we shouldn't
Yes.
have California shouldn't get two extra, electoral, seats, just because the fact that they have 20 million illegals in their state.
So Americans are very ignorant when it comes to why these things are so important. A lot of people don't realize that the census is they want to count how many people they have in their area, yes.
Mhm.
But according to how many people are in there is how many congressional seats? Yeah, congressional
Yeah,
seats
congressional
each
seats. Yeah.
state gets.
Hmm.
California is full of illegals. They get extra. Every single illegal that just came in, we have more illegals that came in the last 3.5 years than over like 30 states that we have in the country.
Yeah.
So these are all congressional seats if that are going to count for the Democrats because they're going to vote Democrat because they're going to get, you know what I mean? These states are
Hmm.
Democrat run states. And a lot of Americans don't realize that this is what's happening in the census. So when they're like, yeah, illegal should be counted, but it's like, why? They're here illegally. For every illegal that gets a voice, an American citizen's voice gets censored or gets quieted down. That
Sorry, I
sounds
got a
so
message.
wrong.
What happened?
I said, that's not so bad, but it's true for, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
I'm not trying to sound bigoted, but this is our country, you know, so we should have a say in it. And for every vote or every time, yeah, for every vote that you give an illegal, you're taking one away from the American,
Yeah,
you know?
there you go. You know, I, I laugh when they go, "Oh well, um, voter ID is racist," and it's like, how many people in this country really don't have an ID,
And do you notice
especially
that
in
it's
in the
only the
big cities?
Democrats? Yeah, I was gonna say, you notice it's only the Democrats that think it's racist because they think that minorities are not smart enough or capable enough to get
It's
an
kind of like
ID.
someone. I was reading a post about Kamala and her southern accent that
Mm,
she tried in Atlanta, and it's like that's what Democrats do. If you ever see Hillary did it, Obama did it, Bill did it,
AOC did it.
what they do is they talk down to black and Latinos. They'll be like, we're gonna pretend that we're from the South, even though we're from, New York. And it's like, no,
They pander to you for your vote. You know, they think you're stupid enough to be like, this is gonna appease you so you could vote for me. And I mean, we just saw it with the Kamala Harris rally, right? She
uh-huh.
had Quavo and Megan Thee
Megan Thee
Stallion.
Stallion. Yeah. Oh, and
And
and there's
this is
black people who are this black and this is black people. I've seen black reactions to this. People who can't stand Trump who are saying who told them that this was a good idea.
I'm sorry, but the people that were so offended by grab them by the pussy are now having this woman over there talking, like singing and dancing the way she like. Please, no, you cannot be offended
Yeah,
by words when you're pushing. Okay, but
yeah.
here's okay.
Don't pearl clutch about grab them by the pussy when they couldn't even play the girl's song
Yeah,
because every other word is an obscenity and they had to censor the whole damn song.
yeah. So I saw a post that was like, Trump supporters, what do you have to say now? We shut you up. She got all these people. It's like, no, no, no. Kamala did not get all these people. Megan Thee Stallion and Quavo did.
Whatever
As
his name
soon
is.
as they ended, people were leaving,
Yeah.
right? So listen, I was telling you that I just came from a Trump rally. I
Yeah.
went last week. I took my 11-year-old. We drove 5 hours there. We waited in the sun for 5 hours just to get inside. Donald Trump spoke for over an hour. That place was packed to the brim. Thousands of people didn't get in. And we had a 5 hour drive back. So I was telling my son, like, hey, babe, you want to leave a little early so we miss the traffic? He's like, no, mom, I want to stay until the end. This 11-year-old wanted to stay until the end to listen to Trump's speech because this man just is so electrifying. He's funny. He's just charismatic. And people
I
were
mean, he
walking
raised
out
the
of the
right.
Kamala Harris concert after the show. You know what I mean? Like this, they
Mhm.
went out there to see her.
No, yeah, no, nobody go. It's like they don't get the enthusiasm because they don't ever get those numbers. It's like they haven't gotten those type of numbers since Obama.
Yeah. I mean, they get them, but it's manipulated, like with the concert. They
Yeah,
need
but
like the
even with the
Beyonce. They
concert,
need
they didn't get as much. They still didn't get. Put Trump in that same arena and see how packed it is.
without the music celebrity, without
Yeah,
I guarantee you they're gonna pull out a Taylor Swift on them. I guarantee you they're gonna pull Taylor out there pretty
I
soon.
wouldn't be surprised.
You know, and I get
And Mrs. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelsey.
Kelsey. So listen, Trump is pulling in Taylor Swift crowds without
Yeah,
the Taylor Swift.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. I'm like, I'm waiting for a local a rally that I could go to where, I got someone that could watch the kids for me.
So this was the second time I saw him. The first time was at the March for Life in Washington, D.C. He only spoke for like 15, 20 minutes. He didn't speak long. He was First
You know
presidential.
what? I would be happy with that. I
Yeah.
really, honestly, look, you know, I'm gonna vote for the guy and everything, but I don't know if I want to be at a place for to hear him talk for 2 hours without being able to like step away and, you know,
So
take a
I'll
break.
tell you this: he gets the crowd going. You don't realize how long the time went by.
Okay.
I I was aware because I knew I had a long drive home, and I was like, maybe we should leave a little bit early. You know, and my kid was like, "No, mom, I'm staying until the end." So
It's
no, but yeah, so it was my second time seeing them. It was my son's second time because I had him ditch school the first time. Because I'm like, we could read about history in a history book, or we could go see history. So both
yeah,
times I took him to
exactly.
go experience it, you know. And
I'm contemplating because you know he's gonna go back to Butler, Pennsylvania.
yes, Pennsylvania, yes,
I'm contemplating going, even though it would be like I think like 3 to 3.5 hour drive to get there.
dude, I drove 5. You could make it.
I just oh I the driving's not the distance. The problem is like, you know, let's say if it's a day where I could just leave my wife with the kids, it's
Mm,
perfectly fine, you know. But to leave somebody else with the kids for that much time, I you
yeah,
know,
I
it's
get
harder.
that. I get that. But like, I honestly feel that if you have you get the chance, go experience it because I have
Oh, I
never.
have intentions. If I can, I have all intentions. I'm like, because Pennsylvania is a battleground state, so he's
Mhm,
gonna go. He's gonna do a couple rallies here. Whether it be, I doubt he'll come up to where I'm at, but he'll probably go to like Reading, Pennsylvania, or um, he'll go down to Philly.
you know, I
Uh,
wouldn't be surprised if he goes back. I think he has it been. I think he's been to New York, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back because he was even out in California at one point.
mhm.
California is like blue territory.
Yeah, if he goes New York, New Jersey, um, you know, some parts of Pennsylvania, it'll all be 2 to 3 hours for me, just depending on where he does the rally. So I'm,
Yeah,
you know, I have the flexibility that I'm, you know, since I'm up here in the Northeast.
yeah. I missed that about the East Coast. How everything's so close. Like you could drive 8 hours in California and you're still in California.
Uh, Texas is the same way. I lived in
Yeah,
Texas for 6 years.
yeah. We road tripped to the
Uh,
East Coast, and we were in Texas 2 days. We stopped and kept continuing the next day just to get out.
oh yeah, well you did from you did Amarillo to or you did
Um, okay, so we actually made a couple pit stops.
oh,
We were on the road for over a week, but it's because we wanted to do a lot of stops. This was our second time in Texas. The first time, God, where did we went to Dallas.
okay,
Um, I'm a history buff. I
okay,
don't
so
know
you
a
went
lot about,
to
like, I'm
JFK.
not saying that I know everything about history,
Uh,
but I like to experience. Like, I've taken my kids to the George Washington House. I've taken them to Philly where they wrote the Constitution. I've taken them to DC. We've gone to Gettysburg. Like,
went
I
to
try to take them.
Valley Forge.
We haven't been there yet.
That's nice.
But I do
Valley
try to
Forge.
take. But we took them to where JFK got assassinated.
Been there.
Um, in Texas, and we made it a point for them to learn about this.
Mhm.
So when we went to Dallas, that was one of the stops we did. Um, we went to. They really wanted to go to Roswell. I know that, so we went Roswell. Then I wanted to go to
I
the.
would I did the Roswell when I lived in Texas. I did the Roswell trip, so
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
have to admit, but it's cool. It's a quirky town,
it
so
is. There's aliens like literally everywhere.
uh-huh.
Um, we went to Sedona. We stayed in New Orleans for 2 to 3 days because I mean that's like one of my favorite cities in the country.
Mm.
So yeah, we went to Abraham Lincoln's house at one point.
Oh
Like,
wow, wow,
yeah, my kids have been to like almost 30 states. So
wow. It's just we did. My wife graduated from college, so
oh,
we did a
congrats
road
to
trip
her.
ourselves. So we drove from here to Detroit, but I wasn't staying in Detroit. I actually took the bridge. I took the tunnel into Canada and stood in Canada because it was cheaper and
Oh,
safer.
yeah, I don't blame you. So we
'Cause,
went to Chicago once,
uh,
and I remember I posted a picture of us with the big beam. And I was like, we were in Chicago. We didn't get shot. Like, that was because some of
Or
the
it's funny
things
because
are scary.
I took a picture of the sign that said 8 Mile Road,
Hmm.
like from the
From the
Eminem
movie.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so and then we drove from Detroit down to Texas also.
Yeah. We've
And then
been
we
very,
drove back.
very fortunate. We went to the Grand Canyon. Yeah. We've been everywhere, luckily. I do. There's a few more spots we want to hit up, but like we'll see, we'll see. It's just my husband's like I told you, he's
Yeah.
military, so every time he gets stationed somewhere, I go, let's drive so we could experience it. Because if you fly, it's just like a straight shot.
Oh, I know. I do this. We do the same thing.
Yeah.
We drive. Like I said, we drove from Detroit from Detroit all the way to Texas, and then Texas back up here.
I've we've been to St. Louis. We've been Atlanta has been a
We've been,
place that I'm just like, like it's not. We've been there
I've
twice.
never been to Atlanta, but I've been to Georgia, um, Florida. Yeah, the only southeastern state I haven't been in is Alabama.
Hmm.
But
I'm trying to think
I've
like,
driven
oh,
through Mississippi, Louisiana.
so we've been up the country, and then we've been south of the country. There's a couple in the middle we haven't been to. Never made it to Florida. Um,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, yeah, we wanted to, but I forgot what other stop. It was either we go to Florida or we go up, and there was another stop, and like we each get to choose. I even let my kids
I'm
pick where
I'm
they want to
missing
go.
3 states in the Northeast:
Mhm.
Vermont, Maine, and New Hampshire.
The farthest I've been is New Jersey. I haven't been to New York. I haven't been.
You haven't been to New York?
No.
Oh, you got to come to New York. You
Well,
come to
okay.
New York. You come to New York. Let me know, and I'll take you around.
So funny story. Okay, so every
Mhm,
anniversary we take a little road trip like close
mhm.
by. And we were at New York for 1 year, but then I took a DNA test and I found out I had sisters. So we switched the trip and went to Michigan instead to meet my sisters. But that was the year we were supposed to go to New York.
Uh,
Yeah, but we've been pretty much like we haven't been up Maine, New York. We haven't been that far up.
yeah, no, that's my next thing I want to do. Like, I want to knock those off my states list because my
Yeah,
bucket list is to hit up all 50 states.
yeah. So have you seen that Brit guy? And he does commercials. He goes, "America." That people will be like, "Americans are not well traveled," and they're like, "No, they're very well traveled in their state. Every state is something different, you know."
Yeah,
So yeah, we
it
are
works 'cause it's like, backpacking through Europe. That's like going up and down the east coast of our country.
like just
Every state has
California in
something different.
itself. Like California in itself has so many different regions that are also different, you
Mhm.
know. So like you could just
Well,
experience different things.
I've never been to California, so I can't tell you. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. You could go to San Diego, LA, Monterey, Frisco. Like everything's like a little bit of a different little vibe,
Yeah,
you know. So it's the
I've been
same
the
way with
furthest
every other
west
state.
I've been is Grand Canyon.
The Grand Canyon is beautiful, though.
It is
Yeah,
beautiful. Yes, I
it's so
can't wait. I wanna
beautiful.
go back there too.
Yeah.
But, well, it's gonna be about to be an hour.
We started
So
talking about
I'm gonna
traveling for like
okay,
10, 15 minutes.
yeah.
Mm.
I'm don't sign off yet. I'm just gonna sign off the show and then we'll chat afterwards. Um, well, anyways, I will put Gadi's stuff on the description page so you could check out her stuff. She does a lot of if you don't do TikTok, like I'm not a TikTok person, so
Get on
uh
TikTok. Get on TikTok. Because this election, we need everything out there.
I don't want their stuff on my phone.
I get that, but this generation is all about TikTok. And I mean, okay, I will tell you
Okay,
this. I will tell you this. There were
okay,
so many young people at the Trump rally. So many
okay.
young, a lot of young women.
Okay, I'll do a compromise. I have a game phone, like you see right here. Like I have my game phone that I don't play like any games on my main phone. This is just my phone just to mess around with. So I'll put it on there.
Yeah, yeah, because we need everybody out to get the young people to wake up. Because
But I was gonna say I'll put your stuff on put your links and stuff. Like I said, on Instagram she does a lot of reels, so you have to That's the best way to get her stuff. Is she's always sharing stuff. I do the same thing. I share a bunch of reels. So that being said, I hope everyone enjoyed the show. And with that being said, have a good night, everyone.